episode of Market Views. Today I'm joined with Rufaro Ogier. This is our last episode for this season, and it's quite important to note that towards the end of the first quarter, the ZSC expect that companies with the year end of 31 December should have released their full year results at least by the end of that quarter. As we came to the end of the quarter, we saw the exchange issuing out an extension of a month to the end of April for companies to release their full year statements, and those without full year statements to release trading updates. It is also to note that we've seen companies failing to release their results at the end of the quarter, and also considering they're given an extra month, with some companies requesting extension towards mid-May, which is as we head towards the mid-year. Rufaro, can you just explain what might be the reason of such things on the market, and how do we then get to have an insight of how these companies are operating given such an inflationary environment?
Thank you very much, Hilton. So it's very unfortunate that we are 5 months into the year and we haven't received the results for the 2021 financial year for some companies, because the way in which it should operate under normal circumstances is that you finish off the year, then you report to key stakeholders how you have been operating throughout the year. So according to the ZSE rules, you are supposed to report back to your stakeholders in 3 months. So by 31 March, we should have gotten something. And companies are highlighting that we are having challenges because of COVID and what. So there was an extension up to 30 April, as you rightfully mentioned. But we are still seeing companies that haven't released their results yet up to today. And some of them issuing out statements saying, give us some leeway up to mid, but some haven't even said anything, which are companies that are very key to us. We need to know what's happening as analysts, and so that we make meaningful decisions, knowing what has happened to these companies. Because the moment you are not informed, you then end up making decisions without the proper information that you need for you to be in a position to. So it's an unfortunate situation. By now, we should be knowing what happened for all the companies that had their year end of 31 December 2021. Yeah.
Thank you, Rufaro. I think it's something we should be worried about in a way, because we have things such as PE ratios moving on, which is, considering we have such an inflationary environment, as I mentioned earlier, we would want to have the right figures, and those be it inflation adjusted in real terms, so that we can calculate the value of investments. Also, moving on, here in April, we saw the exchange issuing out a different. The exchange gave us a change in the circuit breakers on the market. How then can you attribute this to, and what might be the effect of such to the liquidity on the market and also to investments?
Okay, so just to give context, so circuit breakers are there to some extent curb the volatility that can happen in a single trading session on the exchange. So prior to this new announcement, you would know that in a single day, you can't lose 20% or gain, you can't lose more than or gain more than 20% on a share. And for penny stocks, according to the ZSE, are defined as stocks that are trading below one Zim dollar. So they can't gain 100%. So you witnessed last week, we saw the markets going up. Yes, I remember, I think it was Tuesday, the market was up 12% in one day. Yes. And this could have gotten the attention of some of the authorities, and what we saw were developments to try and curb the trading curb from a 20% to a 15%, so that we try and reduce the volatility. In terms of how effective that would be, I'm not really sure if that's effective, because come on, If I really believe that Seedco is undervalued and I'm willing to pay a 20% premium for Seedco, reducing the trading cap can only slow me down a bit, but can't stop me. I'll bid for the 15% premium today, and tomorrow I'll continue. But ever since the trading cap, yeah, we've seen somewhat the Buran is suddenly stopped, but we can't really attribute everything towards the introduction of, of the trading cap.
Yeah, I think it's also quite good to note that, let's say, in the event that, as you mentioned, a account is set to go at least 40% up. Now, where it was supposed to take at least 22 days prior with the 20% cap, we can now see that. So I think such bull runs, which we had for the past, let's say, 2 weeks, discussing the previous week, these in the future will now probably take 3 or even longer periods. But
On paper, that's
that's
the implication.
Yes, that's the implication. But as we see such regulations coming in, we would know that we won't have such bull runs as well, because we know sooner or later we have some regulation or something to prevent such volatility on the market. I think towards the end of last week, we saw Lafarge giving us the full year results. Quite interesting to note that with such major construction going on in the country, a key position company like Lafarge gave us a net loss. And also, I think let's start focusing on the loss of the company. What do you think might be the cause of such?
Okay, so Lafarge highlighted that there were operation distortion. Their operations were halted for about 4 months due to the milling breakdown that happened. So when a company like that holds operations, you would expect sales volumes to decline. So that was a big factor that weighed them down into the negative earnings territory, as you called it. So it was a big challenge. But it's also very important to understand a bit of the cement economics of Zimbabwe. So we have capacity as Zimbabwe to produce about 2.5 million metric tons of cement, and we are only producing about 1.6 million. So you see already there is a deficit. That's why you see we import cement a lot from Zambia, South Africa. So the potential is there for cement companies to exploit by increasing their capacity.
Yes.
If you went through the Lafarge results, you saw they were investing in capital expenditure so that they can get back to the track and try to increase their capacity to fall from the period that they were when they were not operational. And Lafarge is a very significant player, like you said. Actually, the Zim cement market is a few operators, PPC, Lafarge. I think those are the biggest. And what I'm seeing is the potential was there. Of course, they didn't have the best results last year because they had a period where they were not operating, but the potential is there that they can bounce back. And they've secured about 25 billion in debt, which is quite significant. It's very important for us to note that it constitutes a significant portion of their balance sheet. Yeah, if they're able to use that to increase their capacity, they could bear good fruits going into the future.
I think that is interesting to note. You're saying is related to an increase in capital expenditure. We have, I think Lafarge is a company which has been trading under questionnaire for quite some time.
Yes.
Firstly, due to that plant breakdown, and also change in ownership. Yes.
Yeah.
So you as with anything, change in ownership, there's definitely a change in operations or somewhere. So as an investment, you can probably bet on it that maybe a change of leadership and ownership as well might have a positive impact on the company, which this is something that can go either way. But with an increase in volume produced and the production processes, the company is set to see a better days in the future. I think thank you viewers for being with us for this whole season of Market Views. See you next time and enjoy the rest of your week.